Greetings and welcome everybody to this week's episode of UC Weekly News. I'm your host David Danto, and we have to be very quiet. We're getting a secret preview, a week and a day ahead of the opening of Crestron's Customer Experience Center here in New York City in Manhattan. We're going to get a tour of the place. We're going to talk to their CMO Brad about what's going on with Crestron and everything that's happening. So it's going to be a really exciting show, a great preview for everybody. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Oh, look who's here. Hey, Dave, welcome.
Hello, Rich. Hey, Kaylee.
Hey.
Good to see you, Dave.
Good to see you as well. So tell me, where are we?
Well, Dave, I'd like to welcome you to the Crestron New York City Experience Center. It's a brand new space that is a grand opening on October 15th. We're really excited. It's located at 200 Lexington Avenue on the third floor in the New York City Design Center.
And this is a special preview for people who are not going to be able to go there, and it's going to be like a week and a day before we actually get the space open.
Which is
give
really
us the
cool.
Sneak peek.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, this is going to be a great tour. We're actually going to start right at the beginning, right when you come in the door. You're going to see the residential and commercial space, but we're going to go through the residential space, which ties in beautifully into the commercial space as well, because the residential is not just residential. It can be an MDU, it can be a hospitality environment. It's a wonderful design space as well. So I'd love to take you back to the entrance area and we'll walk right in.
You walk, I'll follow you.
All right, sounds good, Dave. Let's take a walk. So we're really excited about this incredible space. It has been in the design and planning stages. Construction just finished, believe it or not, 2 weeks ago, which is an impressive statement.
It is impressive in New York City.
It is, and we have already had a couple of small, wonderful events. We had the What's New, What's Next event for the New York City Design Center, which was a day of 600 interior designers through the building. We had an event in here with about 70 of them presenting from our multi-purpose room, which we'll show you in a little bit. We then had 2 more days of Black Interior Designers Network Conference, where they shared ideas on how to grow their businesses.
So what you're saying is it was a soft open.
We've been having a soft opening for the last couple of weeks. We're still putting some features in before we actually have our grand opening.
And let's not forget, we're honoring George Feldstein, of course. George is a brilliant man, and it was a pleasure knowing him, and we all miss him.
This was such so glad we could put this right here at the entrance. The space was really designed with him in mind, and keeping all the power and the incredible things he has brought to Crestron and to the industry. And it's really an honor to have been working with him for the many years that I did work with him. So absolutely, and that's why we want to make sure that we always start with the session here with George.
Okay, let's keep going.
Let's come on in. This is pretty cool. So I love to start with the residential. Why? Because we can tell a complete story of what life should be. And we can walk into a space and to our home with a single button press that will turn on the lights, unlock the door, set the shades. And let's come on in and take a look at this beautiful space. We can come on in here, and it is an absolutely gorgeous space. We have in the space touchscreen right by the door, right? And it's the new Crestron Home New York City Crestron Experience Center. We've got here surround sound capability using Crestron feeding a Sony surround sound. We have a beautiful 98-inch television. We have on the wall here one of Crestron's thermostats, which in the residential space is a beautiful way to control your home. In this current setup for dual mode operation right here. We have a great dinette and kitchen area, which has shades and drapes integrated within, lighting control for the space as well, audio distribution. We are using audio distribution in our space with our friends at Sound Machine, so that's going on in the space as well. And all of this is, of course, integrated and fully controlled using Crestron Home on the residential side. So the nice thing is we didn't program anything on the residential space. We configured it. We added in some drivers. For example, we have an intercom with 2N we loaded a driver from our friends at LCD. That driver is running our 2N door station. It's a wonderful integration so that we get video, we get audio, we can unlock the door, create that kind of experience you want in your home. But as we continue through the space, we've got some really cool things. We've got a fireplace that we can control, and that is a vapor fireplace, which is quite lovely. We can change the colors on it. It's really pretty cool little space. We have the ability to do some other fun stuff. We have color kinetic lighting from light and green, for example. We have in here our bedroom location, which can be used in a hospitality environment or an MDU environment. What's really nice about this space, again, configured in Crestron Home, we've got here a bedroom setup. We've got 2 keypads on the walls. We've got a touch screen. We've got a handheld remote. We've got our horizontal shears, which can easily be controlled, which is a beautiful thing. We have here also within the space, before I go into this room, just want to show you our beautiful home office environment. So here in the home office environment, we have the ability to look out into the Caribbean, even though we're in New York City. We have here our beautiful displays on the wall from our friends at Sony. It's a beautiful space with audio distribution, lighting control, complete integration. But then what we have in this space over here is our residential design and demonstration area. Our goal here is to sit with our customers to talk about their system designs, how we can make them more comfortable with the technology that meets their needs. And it's not about the box, David, it's more about a solution for their application, whether it's their home, their business, their MDU, their hospitality space, or even their hospital space, all of which that Crestron can integrate with cleanly, easily, and effectively.
Okay.
So David, unfortunately, most of us have to go to work. I know you get to work from home all the time, but some of us actually have to go to the office. So we're going to take a walk into the office from our home. So as we come in, we're going to go right into our open office space. And within our open office space, Crestron's showcasing its scheduling panels. We've got our scheduling panels on the desk. I can take out my phone, I can scan a QR code, and I can book my desk. Half a day, a full day, part of the day. It's a really great experience. And the nice thing is, it'll actually show up on the hot desk schedule on the display on the wall in the center of the room. It's a great space. It allows us to have a lot of different technologies and showcase what we can do. We've got here our scheduling panels for signage. And you'll notice here we had some fun with the namings of the rooms. And you're going to see a kind of concept as we go through the space. And that is, we've said, you know what, we're right in Midtown New York. We've got to pay homage to Broadway that's nearby. So we had some fun and we named our rooms after Broadway shows. Hamilton, you'll notice, has a beautiful drape track on it, which is actually a great thing because it's a glass door space. So we'll come on and we'll go to another space and take a look at our space we call Les Mis. And what's really cool about this space, it's a BYOD solution. So using Air Media and our AMTX3-100 little dongle, you plug it in and now you can share content. You can join a Teams meeting quickly and easily. It's seamless, easy to integrate and use.
And forgive me, I've schmutzed it up with all of my stuff. That's why it's.
That's okay, Dave. We're glad to have your stuff schmutz it all up.
But you got the Jabra.
And that's the Jabra UC50 soundbar with the camera, microphone, and speakers built in. We have our AMTX3 integrated beautifully. And here's the really cool thing about it: those graphics you saw on the display, we added those in. Those were all AI generated and put in there quickly and easily, following the theme of France and Les Miserables. So we can theme everything. In fact, you can see the image has changed while we've been waiting here, right? You can see what that has altered as well. So we've got a lot of great digital signage as well. We have a location right here, and at that location, as we had an event just last week, we put a little table. Someone says, I need to show some content. They went to the wall plate, plugged in their laptop, boom, up and running. Their content was playing on the display. Quickly, easily, a wonderful, great experience. Then if we're going to head back this way a little bit through our open office space, we have a commercial design and demonstration space, just like we did on the residential side, but it's a little different. Why is it different? Well, we named it Wicked. Why? Because it is so wickedly cool. And as you come into the space, we have the ability to route content from our flip tops throughout the space, from a table here in the center of the room, and we can route different content to different screens. We can route the same content to all the screens. We have audio distribution within the space. We have occupancy sensing within the space. We have lighting control. All of that is here for our customers to discuss, to look at, to review system designs. Let's take a walk into our Sightline room here in New York City's Experience Center. We call this one Rent. It's a beautiful space, okay? And as we come into the space, and we walk in, the touchscreen lights up, the displays turn on. I didn't touch anything. And in this space, we've got two wonderful microphones from our friends at Sennheiser that tie into our One Beyond solution. We call this a Sightline room as well. There are 5 cameras within the space, 1 camera along each of the sides and the rear wall to pick up the audience members, and 2 at the front so that we can do group framing and individual framing. So Dave, let's go check out our Video Bar 70 room. So this one we call Jersey Boys, because we are a company from Jersey. And what's really cool about this space, I can walk into it. It has our beautiful Video Bar 70. And as I go ahead, and I'm going to do an impromptu meeting, as I join the meeting, the camera opens up, it picks us up, the lensing turns green. I'm going to go ahead and do the self-view, turn that on so we can see what goes on in here.
Hard to see, but I'll let people take a quick look. It won't be there long because I've just moved.
But it followed you quite nicely,
yes,
and look how close you were. You were within a few feet of the display, so it does a great job of doing that.
And we've reviewed this, and of course we will again now that it is also Microsoft Teams certified.
It is also Microsoft Teams certified and available, correct. Okay. It's a great solution. Today we're showing it in Zoom mode because the other spaces are set up for Teams mode, so we need to be able to share the love for both companies. Sure. What's really cool is the spaces are designed to handle Teams, Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet. We can integrate with all these different technologies through our space in different rooms. In fact, speaking of that, let's go take a look at our multi-purpose room. And that one's called Phantom of the Opera. And this space, we're having some really cool stuff. This room also has One Beyond technology in it. We've already had a series of events here, and we've utilized these cameras quite nicely. In fact, the setup you see right now is a classroom setup. We had it set up theater style, and we can easily accommodate 50 people theater style. These are LG Magnet 136-inch diagonal displays. They're absolutely beautiful. They have two separate controllers feeding them, all tied into DM-NVX, which is a great solution. Within the space, we are using our friends from Shure for their microphones. You'll notice architecturally, they tie in quite nicely into the round lights, along with Crestron's pendant speakers. So a lot of what we've done from a design perspective is utilize the technology to be as invisible as possible. It's about making it all integrate within the design so that it becomes a really nice experience for the user. So we have a wonderful cafe area that has digital signage in it, and it has the ability to host quite nicely about 50 people easily, which is quite a wonderful thing. In fact,
how much does the entire space hold? What's your maximum occupancy?
We can do comfortably 70 to 75 people. It gets a little tight if you put everyone in the NPR at one time, but that's okay. We can all be friendly about it. But we've got a great space set up here. We've got a cafe. We've got a wonderful island here for serving food. We have a bar set up so we can serve cocktails. We have seating area. We have our wonderful customer experience center coordinator hanging out there in the back, Davelin. We can do digital signage. We can do coffee machine integration. We have 2 offices here as well that can be scheduled and booked accordingly.
So Rich, I noticed that we've got, in terms of some of the privacy in the glass, some of the frosting, you've got a couple of map areas here, a couple of places you've got the Crestron logo, and you're showing the map. What is that? What's that all about?
Well, so, here we are in the middle of Midtown, New York. So we decided that for our graphics, we wanted to put respect to Manhattan. And so that's what these graphics are. In fact, let me go ahead and close this a little bit so you can see a better shot of the entire island and around that corner, right? So we're showcasing the power of Manhattan. This location is fantastic. Central, Midtown, easy to get to.
All right, that's beautiful, and it was a terrific tour. So now we're going to go over and chat with Brad, right?
Absolutely. He's going to come out of the Hamilton room at 2 o'clock and join you.
Okay, terrific. So we are now sitting with Brad Hintze, who is the Chief Marketing Officer with Crestron.
EVP Marketing.
EVP of Marketing.
Yes,
okay.
Yep.
What does that mean? Tell everybody for a second, what your job is at Crestron.
So my responsibility is global marketing for all of Crestron. That includes sales enablement, alliances with important partners like Microsoft and Zoom, and training and documentation as well.
Okay, and just in case anybody doesn't know, and if you're willing to talk about it, a little bit of your history. What brought you to Crestron?
So I started my career building actually at some startups, development tools to create really rich web applications, and then in developer evangelism. So these very technical kind of software engineering kind of roles, APIs, REST APIs, those kinds of applications. And then I moved into home automation with another big home automation brand, and then I came here to Crestron 4 years ago.
Okay, that's terrific. So we had this conversation before where we were talking about what we're going to talk about today, and this is a conversation amongst friends and in front of the industry. So there's no intention to sandbag you here, but I want to talk about what people are talking about, both in front of you and behind you, so that you get the opportunity to really address it. So I think it's fair to say Crestron didn't have the most fun time during the pandemic.
No, not really. No.
So, and what I've heard from all of my friends and associates that work there is you're going back at 100% now. Everything's in stock, everything's available, what's going on. Do you want to give like a minute or two to put that to bed, what happened there and what the learnings might have been?
Well, I think the reality is, everyone faced these challenges, right? And because of the interest in Crestron, we seem to feel them in a way that people wanted very acutely because they wanted the solutions, right? And as the whole world was disrupted, everybody was facing these challenges, around the world, and we tried to partner with our customers, partner with our channel, get your orders in early so that we could plan ahead. We tried to be proactive on that, and it was still a challenge to get stock on many of those products. We have been in a much better situation for at least the last year as all of the product lines have recovered.
So we're marking this time with the opening of this facility that we just got a tour of. This is the page turn. We're not even thinking about anything else anymore.
No,
so anything learning, anything you guys doing differently with supply chain or building or anything is because of all this?
Yeah, sure. We learned a lot throughout all of those disruptions in the way that we engage with partners and to plan ahead. I think that we've all the whole industry has actually gotten better at let's plan ahead, let's place our orders early, let's communicate often. So that was clearly a big deal. We have started to work with new and or different manufacturing partners in some cases. We've started to plan differently with other partners, and so we've incorporated those learnings so that we are much more structured around building out that funnel. How we communicate, but I think that we have always prided ourselves on having a lot of inventory all the time, and that's really important when you need a particular part, when you're on the site. You have a quick job that just popped up and you need to go take care of it.
Always happens.
Inventory there is really critical to have. But then there are those big multi-thousand room projects. Nobody turns those on overnight. So let's plan those together, and I think that we have all, as an industry, gotten better at doing that. And so that's another shift in our sales conversation is, great, we've got what you need for these quick things, let's plan, right? Let's get it in and prepare for that so that we can make sure that we take care of you. Those kind of bigger outlier projects.
And it's also tangentially, there's been consolidation in the integration space. So you don't have as many smaller shops that aren't planning. You have a lot of bigger shops that you're dealing with now and some new players. So, all right, so that's really good. Let's talk about the new thing, the Crestron, the Video Bar 70, which we had a chance to review. Really, it's an awesome, huge device, works with 4 cameras, all the other fun things that are in it, but it's now Microsoft certified, right? That just happened?
It did. It just happened. We talked to Microsoft. It was just about a week ago that we got that fully signed off. It is a medium and large room certified Android device. We're very excited about it. It's our first foray into this all-in-one with Android. We think it's a good opportunity to get into some of those rooms that would really benefit from a bar, but they're bigger and they need the better cameras.
Exactly, and I've tested a number of video bars. A lot of them are very good. Plenty of them have their quirks, but most of them are meant for the small to medium room. This is a bar that actually goes out probably, I would say, 8 to 10, maybe even 15 feet longer than most of the smaller bars. So it's good. And what's the uptake with your Microsoft customers? Because I know you have a lot of them that are Teams based. I'm sure that there's some interest in this now that there wasn't before.
Yeah, absolutely. We have been quoting a lot of projects with it. They're very eager to get their hands on it. A lot of proofs of concept and beta units while we're getting it fully certified and ready to ship. And so there's been a lot of interest there. What we're seeing among a lot of customers that have already deployed Microsoft Teams is they've deployed it, they've seen success, and now they're beginning to expand into other rooms, and this is a really great product to begin to take that and expand it to those other rooms.
I'll put up on the screen here a link to my review of the product, and your team tells me that they've already upgraded mine to Microsoft Teams and it's on the way back. So I'll update that video as soon as I have it. So I don't expect it to be anything other than, wow, it works on Teams too. There's a 4 sentence update and we'll be finished. So let's talk about customer experience centers.
Yeah.
I've been to many of them. I've helped design a few of them. This is a
Yep.
very beautiful space.
Yep.
It's obviously the newest coming online. We appreciate the sneak preview
Of
that
course,
we gave
yep.
everybody today. They're different than they used to be.
Yep.
It used to be a display for all of your gear, and this is how audio works, and this is how video works, this is
Right.
how control works. Now people are building exactly experiences. They're building scenarios that might be in a real site. Tell me about how this adapted, and then I know you have other ones as well. Are you going to take some of this knowledge back and redo some of the other ones?
Yeah, we will always take what we learn with each thing, just like when we do a trade show, we learn and build on top of that.
Roseanne doesn't learn
iteratively.
anything. She knows everything.
No, it is always, and we were just talking about it this afternoon for ISE, but we will absolutely take the learnings from this one and apply it elsewhere. But the thing that really has driven this change is that customers today, the reality is that more and more end customers have opinions about how a meeting room should work, right? And there are more and more people that are in the decision-making process, but certainly in the process where they use it, that are less and less technical. And so for that audience, how do you make it relevant? How do you make it so that they can understand? And also, how can you make it so it's simple for them to communicate what they want as well? And when you have just black boxes on a wall, that becomes very difficult to do. But when you have an experience, you can have a real dialogue around what is the technology capable of, what would you like to see different, right? Actually, we were sitting in the room, I had a meeting in one of the rooms, and I was having back and forth with the team running the thing here because it was operating differently than I expected, and it enabled a great conversation. And so enabling that is super critical. I think it's for our integration partners, for our end customers. You can only do that when you have a full experience versus some of those black boxes. And that's what we want to do, is we want to bring people in, inspire them around achieving what they're looking for. And when you've got black boxes, that doesn't work so well. But when you've got a beautiful space like this, it makes it a lot easier.
And the other thing that's different in our industry, and you guys are spearheading, actually, even when we walked into this room, this is the Sightline room,
Yeah.
you walk into the room, the products just turn on and work. You don't know how to you don't need to know how to use them.
It's one button.
They use themselves.
Yeah.
And it's the difference between the 11th hour AV project, slapping on a piece of technology in a room because you're the last guys in,
Yep.
versus did we integrate, did we think about camera angles and where displays will be and how it'll function. So you're demonstrating a lot of that here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And particularly with our product catalog, we address so many of the technology needs within an organization, whether you need intelligent video and video conferencing, you need content distribution, you need collaboration and content sharing within the room, or you need automation and control. This is all the things that we offer. So how do you bring that all together in a way that people can really make sense of it?
All right, so you mentioned ISE before.
Yeah.
I know NDA is NDA. You can't give away any secrets, but what can people expect? Anything new or different or interesting in the pipeline coming out from you guys when we go to, where are we in this year? It's not Amsterdam anymore. It's
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Thank
Barcelona.
You. Brain freeze.
Yep. No, you're fine. Yes, there's always something new that we're showing at our booth at Crestron. So yes, we're not going to give out too many specifics, but one of the things that you'll see, AV over IP week, we will be introducing a new product there, so you'll get to see that firsthand. We'll also be representing some of the existing technology in new ways as well, right? Clearly there, all of the areas that are important to us, you'll see really exciting things: intelligent video, video conferencing, AV over IP, control, and air media. Those are really critical areas that we're investing in, and so those will get a lot of the attention at ISE.
Terrific. We're looking forward to Barcelona. I've got to remember
Barcelona, yep.
And so as a last question, I'll let you speak right to the people that are watching this. What do you want people to take away? What do you want people to think about when they think about Crestron nowadays?
Well, there's a lot of things that Crestron can do, but one of the things that we're really focused on is how do we help make content, collaboration, and control simpler in every modern workspace. There are so many various needs that an organization has, and Crestron has those solutions for them. Again, intelligent video to make a hybrid meeting really effective and productive. Air media to make sharing content and collaborating inside of a room important. Right? You've got a lot of trends about bringing more people back into the office, and you got to make that a really great experience. how do you make a room simple to use, and then of course make the spaces very engaging by showing really engaging content everywhere. So there's so much that we can help people do in delivering that modern work experience within education, enterprise, government, and so Crestron is a really great source for that.
So after all of your travel around the world, you're at Infocom India, you were visiting European colleagues and everything else, and you're here in New York for this special preview, which we all thank you very much for. You're going to spend a little bit of time at home, and I'm going to meet you here again in a week and a day, right? And we're going to do the grand opening of the site with all the other people in the industry. Thank you very much for the hospitality and for showing me around. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so Rich, just before we leave, why don't you put up a floor plan of the site we walked and then point and show us the rooms that we were in?
Glad to do so, Dave. Hang on. Let's just bring that up for you here. So, there we go.
Walk right over and point with your finger.
You bet. So we went and saw a lot of different places. We started our tour over here at the entrance. We went in through the residential space through this door. This is our living room, family room with surround sound. We have some great, beautiful 98-inch Sony display there. We have our kitchen, our dinette. We have through here the home office environment. We have here a bedroom or MDU or hospitality space. We have our demonstration and or design room here. We then left the home into our open office space. We have our Hamilton huddle room right here. We're currently in our Les Mis huddle room over here. This is a great kind of area to hang out for before you go on tours. We have here a little signage here for digital signage. We have our touchscreen display over here. We have here more of the open office environment. Here's our sightline room. It's a great setup.
That's where we interviewed Brad.
That's where we interviewed Brad. Wonderful. We have our commercial design and demonstration space and room here. We have here our Video Bar 70 room in Jersey Boys. And this is our multi-purpose room currently set up in classroom, but this shows it as a theater style venue. Here is our cafe. And of course, we've got our restrooms and lockers.
What a beautiful facility. Thank you very much for the preview. Rich, thanks very much for the time doing this for today.
Dave, a pleasure having you here. Welcome to come by anytime you'd like.
And for everybody that's watching, this is your preview. It'll be open in a week and a day.
Can't wait to have you here all as soon as possible.
So that's it for this week's episode of UC Weekly News and our special preview tour of Crestron's Customer Experience Center in New York City. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you next week.